it is officially spooky season, and if you've been watching my channel for a while and you're familiar with my Halloween videos, then you know that I'm a big fan of DIY Halloween costumes that are really easy to create with both makeup and clothing that you might already have. And with the new Joker 2 movie out this weekend, I thought that Harley Quinn would be perfect for this type of Halloween look. Lady Gaga plays the newest Harley Quinn, and what I love about her version versus the Margot Robbie version, which, don't get me wrong, love me some Margot Robbie, and I thought she did amazing, but this new version is a lot less cartoony, but she still has a very distinct and quintessentially Harley Quinn look that I'm gonna be recreating today with all drugstore makeup. So let's get started, but first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. This channel is dedicated to budget beauty. If that sounds like your vibe, hit subscribe. I'm starting out with my foundation and my brows already done like I normally do them, and you can do that too, but I am going to gel my brows up using the Physicians Formula Butter Brazilian Brow Gel. I'm gonna go ahead and comb my brow hairs a little bit more vertically than I normally do. As Harley's makeup kind of devolves throughout the movie and it gets more messy, I did notice that they styled Lady Gaga's brows a little bit like this for that wild, disheveled look. Adding some eye primer, I'm using the e.l.f. Lock It Down Shadow Primer, and I'm gonna be putting this on my lid as well as under my lower lash line. And I'm blending this from my lash line all the way up to my brow bone because this liner is going to come out and then in. Also something to keep in mind, especially because we're going to be putting dark eyeliner under the eyes, you can skip your under eye concealer for this look. In fact, the darker it looks under your eyes, the more in character you will be. Now for the majority of this eyeliner look, I'm gonna be using two different liners. So I have the Essence Stay in Play Gel Eyeliner in Black Raven and the Physicians Formula Super Slim Liquid Liner. And then I will also be going in with some black shadow to make it a little bit smudgy. So I'm gonna start with the gel eyeliner first. I'm going to tight line just the top waterline. And then I'm gonna drag this pencil across my upper lash line. Then with a smudger brush, so something with kind of short, stiffer bristles that are relatively narrow at the top. This is the Sigma Short Shader E20. I do have a discount code for Sigma, it's Slashed Beauty. I'm just gonna go ahead and tap at that line, making it a little bit smudgy and smoky. I'm not gonna wing it out quite yet. I'm just going from corner to corner, so I'm gonna add a little bit more so I can bring it into my inner corner. I don't usually apply liner in this area because I'm just really sensitive and I feel like putting product here makes my eyes water. But again, that just adds to the look for a little Harley moment. And make sure as you're blending to really get down into your lashes so that there are no gaps showing between the liner and your lashes. Now I'm also taking the same pencil and I'm going to line the middle section of my lower lash line. So this one's not really going from corner to corner at all. I might be going only slightly wider than my iris of my eye, but I am going to dip that a bit so it's almost a little bit pointed downward like an upside down triangle. And I'm going to blend it in that shape as well. So blending and smoking, but then kind of creating a bit of a cone shape with it. And the reason I'm going one eye at a time is that this pencil, I mean, it definitely gives you time to play around and smudge, but then once it's set, it does not budge. So I just want to make sure that I give myself the maximum amount of time to smudge it around before it becomes budge proof. And you do want to center this as much as possible because it's going to turn into, or fade into rather, that line that goes underneath the eyes. So when you create that sort of dip in the middle, that's going to be the center that fades into the thinner line. Okay, so here's where we're at with smudging the bottom liner, and you can see I've sort of brought them down into a soft point. So now let's work on the rest of the liner design. So Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn wears this graphic liner that is sort of like a warped diamond. I'm gonna go ahead and map it out with my liner pencil. So I am starting as if I were doing winged liner, and at about there, about halfway to your brow is where I'm gonna start bringing it in, and I wanna aim this centered with, again, the iris of my eye. For me, that's like right in front of the arch of my brow. It may be different for your brow shape. Now that I have that very roughly mapped out, I will smudge it with my brush. So I'm just tapping and smudging. And we're really getting a lot of smokiness with that. Now, when I first did this Harley Quinn makeup for Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts, because this is the second time that I'm sitting down and doing this, I started out with the makeup looking a little neater because throughout the editing, I kind of smudge it up more. So today's version is going to be sort of in the middle of really smudgy and messed up and neat. So at the top of both of these sort of half diamonds that we have right now, I am bringing that into my brow because it is going to look like the line's just going straight through. So bringing that a little bit upward, but before making that upward line, I'm gonna bring the point down right under my brow, like that. So the diamond doesn't actually close in the inner corner. We're just kind of bringing it in a little bit of a slopey line. And this line is sort of ending up in my inner crease area. Now it's time to go in with liquid liner. So the first thing I'm gonna do is sort of trace the smudged diamond that we made going through the middle. Meeting the brow and then coming down. And other side. I'm going to take just a little bit of black shadow on the same smudging brush, and I'm just tapping that directly over the liquid liner. This is helping mattify it a bit and creates more of a gradient look, tying together the liquid liner and the gel liner. I'm not trying to like smudge this out too much more. I'm really just keeping this right over the liquid liner. Now here's a tip. Say you're doing this, you feel like the smudging got so out of control that you're kind of losing the diamond shape a bit, which I'm feeling just a little bit on this side. Take a normal flat eyeshadow brush and a little bit of concealer. I'm not even squeezing the concealer. I am just tapping what is already on the applicator onto the tip of my brush. You don't want this to be like a full coverage layer. I'm just gonna tap at the edge right here where I feel like the black is losing the diamond shape, as well as just right on top here. So just in case you're a perfectionist, even about something that's supposed to be messy, now I'm gonna map out the top lines with a little bit of black shadow. So again, that's going straight through my brow, kind of keeping this point in mind that we've created on our lid, and then going straight up. And I'm keeping this incredibly light. I just wanna sort of see where I'm going with it, because the first time I did this, they were like diagonal and not centered at all. So I had to take them off and redo them. And this method helped me plan out the line before going in with the liquid liner. All right, I have my guides in place. Now it's time to go back in with the liquid liner. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. This is the trickiest part of the look, because with this line, you want it to be as straight as possible and as pointed as possible. Between filming this look for Instagram and TikTok and this video, I have attempted these top lines several times. And what I find to be the easiest hand placement is like right on, not necessarily your temple, but right above it, like resting your, what is this called? Like your thumb pad on your head, going upward from right above where you have the point on your lid into that line. Because that gives you a lot more stability than trying to draw it like this or like this. So just going over that to make it darker. And this also allows you to create a really nice point. So that's about as tall as I think I want to make that line. As you can see, it's definitely taller than my guide. I didn't want to have the black smudginess underneath the point to make it look cleaner. Now, what do we do about this side? Because obviously I can't reach to this eye from here as someone who is right-handed. So I am going to keep most of my wrist stabilized on the top of my head, just a little higher so I can reach my left eye. Now, luckily the bottom lines are not as straight or as long as on the top, at least on the Lady Gaga movie stills that I've found online. So I'm not gonna be as picky about these, but I do still want to bring them to a point. Now I have fine lines under my eyes, so it caused a little bit of skipping in the line. I have tiny gaps, so I'm just gonna fill in those gaps by dotting the liner. And other side. Going back in with the trusty smudge brush and black shadow. Also, I don't think I mentioned this, but I'm using the Milani Called Me Old Fashioned Gilded Mini Eyeshadow Palette, but any matte black will work for this. I'm going to deepen up that under eye liner and also just pat it right over the beginning of the line. I'm not gonna go all the way down. I wanna keep that pretty sharp, but this will just blend that liquid liner into the gel. I wanna make them a tiny bit thicker through the midsection here. Yeah, I like that look a little better because it's balanced with the top and bottom now. And that is the graphic liner look done, the most important part of this look. Although there is one more part of this makeup that is very quintessentially Harley Quinn in my opinion, but there's one more step for the eyeliner before we move on. Now I have a little bit of black on my lower waterline that I want to remove. I'm just gonna take a makeup wipe and take that off. That was from all the smudging and smoking we did. And I'm going to apply white to my lower waterline. So I'm using the Moira Statement Gel Liner. This is one of the few white eyeliners that I find to look very strong in the waterline. It just glides on, there's no tugging at all. I'm gonna curl my lashes. Now, if you wanna go glam Harley Quinn, you can feel free to add falsies. I'm gonna go ahead and stick with mascara. I'm using the Flower Beauty Dream Warrior Mascara. Now this mascara, I absolutely love the effect, but it is so dang messy. It's like there's no stopper in this tube. I always have to wipe off so much product, which makes the tube messy, but is it worth it? Yes. I can see that my inner eye is watering a little bit on this side. I told y'all that would happen because I put the liner in my inner corner, but I'm not gonna stress too much about it. Just adds to the smudginess. This mascara makes it look like I'm wearing Ardell Wispies. That's what the effect is. Look at this before and after with the lashes. I feel like I'm already channeling glam as it is now. Now looking at Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, it really doesn't look like she has a lot of color on her face, but she has a very intense contour. So I will be using my Makeup Revolution Ultra Cream Bronzer in medium, which is actually one of the more cool bronzers slash contours that I can find at the drugstore. And I will be using my Expert Face Brush from Real Techniques to apply this. Just gonna tap in lightly because this is incredibly pigmented. And I'm gonna bring that contour really high, like almost into my temples and down at a pretty significant diagonal angle. I have a lot of product on my brush, so I'm already gonna tap it on this side as well before I start blending. And I'm gonna bring this all the way down to about right here. I don't wanna go as far in as my laugh lines, but I definitely want a sharp, dramatic cheekbone. Going in with my sponge to help blend into my foundation. There's a little bit of foundation left on my sponge as well. I'm gonna add a little bit of contour to my nose. I personally don't add any blush or highlight for this look. You can if you want. I just feel like Gaga's Harley is much different than Margot Robbie's Harley, which did have a little bit more of those bright colors in the face makeup. So I'm gonna move on to lips. So besides the eye look, I think a red lip is a staple for any Harley Quinn look. I'm using the Milani Color Fetish Matte Lipstick in Poppy. Now when I apply this for my Harley look, I'm gonna try to keep my Cupid's bow area pretty sharp. So starting there with a little bit of a heart shape and then filling in the rest of the lips. So that's the Harley Quinn makeup completed, but there are a couple things you can do if you want to take this to another level of creepy. In the trailer, there are a couple clips where Lady Gaga smears her makeup. So she smears these two bottom lines down her face, and then she smears her lipstick up into a half smile. That would be a great idea if you want to make this a little more chaotic. And then in one version of the movie poster for Joker 2, both the Joker and Harley have blood splatter on their face. So that's definitely an option if you want to bring this costume look into more of a scary territory. So when I filmed this look for Instagram and YouTube Shorts, I did end up doing blood spray. I'm not gonna do it today, but I'll show you what I used. So I picked this up just from CVS. It was $6, the Ruby's Fake Blood Spray. I know that Target's like Halloween brand also has a blood spray. The only thing to keep in mind when dealing with products like these is that they are most likely going to stain your face. So when I used this for my look, I only had it on my face for maybe an hour, and I was able to wash it off pretty easily with my makeup cleansing balm. I think having it over foundation definitely helps keep it from staining too badly, but it's just something to keep in mind. So there are a lot of options on how you can customize this Harley look, but let me finish my look. This is my finished Harley Quinn look. So I actually combined a few different looks that Lady Gaga wears as Harley Quinn in this new movie that I saw in the trailer and sneak peeks. She has a few different hairstyles throughout this movie, but I absolutely loved this wavy blonde bob. And this is from Amazon, like $20 to $25, surprisingly good quality. Also from Amazon is this white checkered argyle tank, which sort of matches the shirt that she's wearing underneath her red jacket. I've actually had this red leather moto jacket since college, I want to say. So I just dug this out from the back of the closet. I absolutely love when I can repurpose normal clothes for a Halloween costume. Even if I end up buying something new, like this shirt, I can wear this in other contexts besides this costume. Let me know if you plan on recreating this look for Halloween, and if you do, be sure to tag me on Instagram so I can repost you to my stories. But if you have other costume plans, I want to know what those are in the comments below as well. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. If you want another costume idea, check out this video next where I do Emma Stone's version of Cruella de Vil. I'll see you over there. Bye.